Okay, so let me know when we're starting. What happened to the symphony you were supposed to hire there, producer Jeeves? Where's our intro music? I thought there was supposed to be anyhow. Never mind. Yes, this is the Hebrew
Jackass.
Hillbilly. I'm coming back with you. Sorry we missed last Sunday, but had a house full of grandbabies and a busted washer I had to deal with. So life. Yeah, producer Jeeves is like I said, he's falling very short on the production value of. Like I said, we were supposed to have a band here for our play-in music, and yeah, if you got two of those, you can stick them up your ass and walk on your elbows. Okay, there you go. See, that's a man. That's a man who knows how to get what he wants. Okay, and he also fell short on. We were supposed to do an interview. He tried to set us up an interview with Winston Churchill, but come to find out, he wasn't aware of the fact that, but we weren't able to set up the interview, obviously, because Mr. Churchill is suffering from a chronic case of death. So, yeah, that interview
You're
is
such an
it's not going to happen.
asshole.
Okay, and I think the Gandhi interview pretty much the same way. We're going to need we're not going to need to talk to their publicists. We're going to need a Ouija board for those. So that's not going to happen. Uh, yeah, yeah. When it comes to producers, you get what you pay for. Yeah, okay. No, he's a good shit. I'm just here busting his balls. All right. The first thing I wanted to talk about. Hold on a second. Got my lid fell off there. Uh, because we're just starting this thing. We're getting these videos together. Hopefully, we can do something live. I suck really bad, and I'm not a big camera, being in front of the camera guy, so we do a lot of recording, so that every time I step on my own feet doing this thing, I'm also trying to filter my cussing as I do cuss like a sailor with Tourette syndrome, but. Yeah, eventually we'll do something live when I get more comfortable in front of the camera, that kind of thing. But I've been researching exactly what we're doing here. Now, my purpose for doing this is a big question that I get from both the Jewish community and both, I guess you'd say, the hillbilly community, the where I was born into. I mean, is questions about the differences between the two, the breaching that, I guess you'd say, dichotomy. But there is no real difference. I mean, hillbillies and Jews have got far more in common uh, than you could possibly imagine. I mean, really, truthfully, I mean, with the absence of pigs and shellfish, most, like I said, I believe I was born a Jew. Everything I believe, every tenet of faith that I have, just it I didn't know that it fit into Judaism until later on in life, but it once I had learned about Judaism, I like I said, I was born Catholic. I didn't didn't bother to learn about Judaism because I didn't figure there was a huge difference there. But the differences are profound enough, are just as profound as the similarities. Let's put it that way. But everything about Judaism just fit what I personally believed. It just made sense. So that's really why I'm doing this. I'm not for the purpose of attention or anything like that. So I'm just trying to get used to being on a camera, that kind of thing. Even got my notes, but we'll go ahead and leave all that alone. What I wanted to get to here was my first subject. Was the people on these videos I keep hearing them referred to as influencers, uh, and as I'm looking into it, and I'm wondering, has any because I've seen some of these people that are telling people to eat like dish soap was one of them, or do like stick bottle rockets up their butts and shit. I mean, just some weird. What I've been wondering is, has anyone ever been influenced by an influencer? And if you have, seek help. Okay, seek help immediately. uh, I don't want to be an influencer. I'm not here to be an influencer, and I can tell you right now, in the past 2 weeks, uh, our viewership has increased by 300%. We are booming. We are talking Emmy. We have went from 2 to almost 7 viewers, if I can, talk some people at work into looking at this. But so yeah, we're growing like gangbusters as far as that goes. Yeah, but I'm not an influencer. If you take anything I say on this cast to heart, if you take anything as a truism, anything like try to quote me, don't. You're a moron. Okay, that's just the way it is. I am here to suggest. I am here to provoke a thought, and then for you to go and look into something and form your own ideas. Okay, I'm not here. There will be some things that we will be talking about quite frankly may upset some people, and I hope it does, because to upset people is to provoke thought, as long as you're upsetting them to provoke thought, and not to upsetting them to where they're doing something horrible or stupid. That's not what I'm here for. Anybody who's got that in their frame of mind, like I said, yeah, seek help. um a good a good example of this was when my niece, when she was young, uh she's older now. I believe she's in her good gravy. She's got to be in her early to mid 30s by now. But when she was in high school, there was a political race going on, and I'm not saying which one she was talking about vote for, but she came home and she was very supportive of one of the candidates, and I asked her why, and she said, "Well, because the other one's stupid." And I said, "Well, why do you think that?" And I kept asking her why, and she finally actually got to the point where she broke down almost in tears, and it said, "Well, all of the people that are in my class like this person, and if I don't like them too, they're not going to like me." And that's when I set her down and I said, "You have to really look into this stuff. There's the one thing that about this of politics, as far as influencers go, but because politicians are the ultimate influencers, if you will. They're political machines that back them are." If you're straight up for one person or the other, and we're not really looking into them, just looking at talking points from one side or the other, you're not doing yourself too much of a favor. What's something you need to remember, and something we're going to get into, this helps to segue into that next week, is what's going on in politics with them finding these guys' hands in the cookie jars. These guys and gals both with their hands in the cookie jars, or out there mixing up the Cosby coladas for their dates, doing that kind of thing. This is a common occurrence amongst politicians. Most politicians are slime. Most political parties are slime. We're going to get into this pretty much in depth next Sunday because of everything that's hitting the news this last week. I don't particularly want to jump on it while it's hot. Because people are still arguing and heated and upset about it. I want to give it about a week for people to kind of calm down and loosen up their sphincters about it. Because I'm not going to talk about just individual politicians and the slime that particular politician oozes. I'm going to talk about the general slime that all politicians ooze. Because, like I said, they're all scumbags. I was Rip Torn, actually, and this segues into my next section, the 3 movies that we're going to present this week. There's a fella named Rip Torn, was in the first movie that I'm going to recommend, called Extreme Prejudice. He had one of the greatest lines. I don't know if he wrote it. I don't know if it ad-libbed. I don't know if it was part of the script. But he was sitting in a vehicle talking to Nick Nolte's character, I believe was Jack Bantine. And they're talking about politicians changing rules and all this kind of stuff. And Rip Torn actually said, and I think this is I'm trying to quote him, was "Shit, Jack. The only thing in the world worse than a politician is a child molester." Greatest line ever, and the truest of lines ever. And now we're talking paper thin margin between the two, between politicians and child molesters. Really,
it's a lot of overlap there.
Oh yeah, exactly. A lot of overlap. But what we're going to get into is the general nature of politics and how corruption is spread and how corruption is used as a system of control. Not into individual politicians, but as in politics in general, at least in the United States. I imagine politics is politics, no matter where you go. But I'm not in England. I'm not in Mexico. I'm not in Canada. So I'm not going to speak to whatever they corruption exists within their systems. I'm an American. I'm going to talk about ours. But like I said, that segues into first of all, like I said, let's go back to, has anyone ever been influenced by an influencer? If you have, you should really ask yourself why. But I'm a suggester. That's all I say, and I'm going to suggest a lot. First thing I'm going to suggest, there's probably going to be several hundred movies I'm going to suggest, because movies and books are my passion. Growing up, I was a stuttering, pimple-faced nerd from just abject poverty, and I loved to read. I loved to watch movies. They were my thing. And the three movies I'm going to give you this week are, and we'll take a pause here in case you got to go take a leak.
I think that's a long enough pause. They can pause the video.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe maybe they I don't know. Got a little prostate issue. Got to work on that.
Right.
Hey, if you've got a prostate issue, let's just say don't worry about the checkup. They've got a blood thing that they can do now for, I don't know what it is. They haven't done it to me. I just had a colonoscopy about a year ago, so yeah, interesting there. But hey, if you're into ass play, prostate checks could probably be your thing.
That reminds me of a funny thing I saw on the internet. It was a post from somebody. Something like, there's this 100
Producer Jeeves, people. Producer Jeeves.
Yes, off-screen producer Jeeves. If my voice sounds familiar, that's your imagination. But anyway, it reminded me of something I saw on the internet. It was a post or some guy.
Remember, this is a family video. Don't get too dark. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, but some.
Who knows what the hell you're watching on video?
I didn't watch a video.
Quite a bit of baby oil bottles around here. I'm just saying, And every time I come in this house, there's not a paper towel around.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay, we ready? Everybody back from the pisser?
Probably, but anyway. But what I was saying was about prostate exams. Was this post I saw? Some guy went to go get a prostate exam. The doctor stuck one finger up his butt, and he immediately nutted and fell over. And somebody replied, "Your doctor really needs to calm the fuck down."
Like that bear joke about the guy keeps getting raped by that bear. He's going out hunting, but he swears revenge against the bear. And every time he goes out there, the bear grabs him, knocks his rifle out of his hands, and just throws him old Porcosaurus Rex. But it just rips him up. About the third time he does it, the bear or the bear kind of stops and he says, "I got an idea. You're not here for the hunting, are you?" Yeah, I don't remember the joke completely. But anyway, Extreme Prejudice, first movie. It's a movie about a Texas Ranger. Of course, drugs now was drugs back then. The issues over the border, like say, la Vidor, generation to generation. It's just something that happens. But which makes it a movie that could be related to nowadays. But it's got Nick Nolte, excellent actor. Rip Torn, he was. The younger people around here, he was in the Men in Black. I can't remember what letter his name was, but he was the older guy anyhow, Rip Torn is his name, look him up. But Extreme Prejudice, it's a movie about a Texas Ranger who's trying to control drugs as far as where he works on his side of the border, and he just so happens to have grown up and been best friends with the guy who's doing the drug running, who left America, went back down to Mexico, and there's also some a group of like special operators, small unit special operators that are involved in in the whole thing. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it's got, like I said, Rip Torn, Nick Nolte, Michael Ironside is in it. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a hell of a good actor. He played the main guard in Shawshank Redemption. Clancy something or other, I think was his name. But guy's been in everything. Great actor. You just watch it. Great action movie. Hell of a good movie. The second one is, now I know a lot of people don't like older black and white movies, but this is just a great one. It's called Harvey. It's a Jimmy Stewart movie. James Stewart, the general that was, he was an actor. World War II, became a general, actual general. He was highly decorated, just hell of a good actor. Great guy. Did It's a Wonderful Life. But in this one, he's a guy who's got what do you call it? An imaginary friend who is a 6-foot rabbit named Harvey. It's kind of funny. It's a good family movie. It's just a good movie all around. You'll enjoy it. But yeah, Harvey. It's a great movie. Check it out. And the third one is, throwing a Western at you, Barbarossa. One of the best Westerns you'll ever see. It's got Willie Nelson and Nick Nolte. I'm sorry, not Nick Nolte. The crazy one. Sorry, I can't. I still got Extreme Prejudice on the mind. Gary Busey. Yeah, old Gary Busey. Which Gary Busey, I don't care what anybody says, one of the greatest actors in real life, as in movies too. I mean, the guy's, crazier than a shithouse rat, but yeah, he's just he's hilarious. I mean, the guy's. I can't talk enough about how much I love Gary Busey. Gary Busey. I was listening on the radio, and these guys were talking about this thing they were doing, where it was take any movie that you can, and or that you watched or that you've seen, any movie in history, and replace the main character of that movie, male or female, with Gary Busey. And they come up with some pretty good ones. They just try that as a mental exercise. They had him replacing Rose on the Titanic movie. Well, Titanic, the broad who drowned Leo DiCaprio. they had her replaced with Gary. I mean, it was. I laughed my ass off for about an hour listening to these guys and thinking about it. It was great. But yeah, Barbarossa. It's just a good old-fashioned style Western. It was made in the early to mid-'80s. I can't remember when, but excellent movie. Barbarossa is the name of it. You need to check that out. Great movie. Also, we had a mental exercise that we did at work back when I worked on the railroad, where you had to think about the last fart that you let, and think of a movie title, an existing movie title that matched that fart. So, yeah, the best two that I ever heard were "A River Runs Through It" and "There Will Be Blood."
Oh, God.
Yeah, they were good. Okay, now on to the next portion. Do you need another piss break, people? Do you? Okay. I can give you one. Just I also like different foods. I'm kind of a foodie, if you want to give me. I'm not really, but I do like different kinds of food. And if I see a product or a food, this is not just going to be food. It'll be different products. There's a company out there, and they may sue me for putting this out there, called Cleveland Kitchen. They make the best sauerkraut and kimchi you'll ever have in your life. They're not paying me, which is why they may sue. Well, they may sue me for my content or for just even mentioning them. But hey, if they sue me, we'll take it down. If they don't, I tell you, go out there and try it. It comes in a bag instead of a can or a jar. Best kimchi you ever had in your life. Great spicy kimchi. They even do a mild for people who, can't handle it too crazy, but they do unbelievable. Their pickles are wonderful. They even do a kimchi pickle, which is just outrageously good. Oh man. But if you want to try Cleveland Kitchen, hey, I'll plug them for free. Like I said, on here, you notice I've got virtually hundreds of thousands of people or of different companies out there that are not sponsoring me. I mean, could be up in the millions of companies that are not sponsoring me right now. So yeah. So nobody sponsors me for any of this. This is we're just a couple of chuckleheads putting this out there. They're not giving me any money. This is just a good product I like. And when I see something good, when I read a good book, when I watch a good movie, when I try a good food, hey, I try to get it out there, let people know. And for those of you who haven't tried kimchi, it's best if you're a cabbage person. If you're not a cabbage person, try it anyway. But kimchi is something that you are either going to love or hate. There are no people that are like, it's all right. No, that's just the way it is. Okay. Do we need to do another whiz break, or you got anything to say? Any food products that you've tried lately that?
I'm trying to think of some. No, not a food product, but I can think of something real fucking stupid that I did recently that fucking just absolutely fucking grated me.
What's that?
So, yesterday night I was making dinner and
You've already said fuck like 7 times, so yeah.
Yeah, that's why But anyway, well, I do say that a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, last night, I was making myself some dinner, and it was ramen and thing that you probably shouldn't put in ramen because it's horrendously unhealthy. But I was adding some garlic powder in it. I was talking to someone while I was doing it. Didn't realize what side of the garlic powder I friggin' opened up. See, I caught myself there.
So you put enough garlic in there to kill a small village?
Yes. I thought, well, fuck it. I can't get any more of the garlic out that I've already gotten out. Maybe it'll be fine. Got done cooking it. It was not fine. It was horrible. I spilled it out, and I got so friggin' mad that I grabbed the garlic powder and poured it on top of it in the garbage can. So yeah, I'm not buying garlic powder out of one of those bottles again with the friggin' side that you can just pour it out. Who fucking uses that side?
That's for a spoon.
Yeah, but who uses that side? Just take the lid off. Well, just take the lid off.
When I make boiled peanuts.
Yeah, the mic can't hear you being a smart ass. All right.
Anywho. Okay. You back from the pisser yet? You should really, really probably talk to a doctor, okay? So, like I said, a lot of ass play in the old prostate exam. If you're into that kind of thing.
Fuck, you're such a dick.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody had to be. Hell, I know I ain't the first one. They already got a name for it. Okay. Now, the next segment I want to get into, and this is near and dear to my heart. Ever since I left the Army, yes, I am a veteran. It's not something that I'm going to talk about a lot because it's very profound in my life. It's something that's very important to me, but it's not what I'm here to talk about. It may come up from time to time, but like now. Ever since I left, I have worked in different trades. I've been a part of several unions, and I have learned, without a doubt, and I know there may be some union guys out there that may not enjoy what I'm about to say, but I am extremely pro-union. Like I said, I work for my union. I do not work for the company or companies that I end up working for. I am part of a skilled trades union, and I'm not going to mention them yet. Not until I talk to somebody and see if it's okay. Like I said, it should be, but just out of respect for them, I'm not going to do it. But one thing that I do want to I want to put out there is because I hear people, especially on the right. And it's something that's kind of foolish that I'm hearing. It's actually pretty damn foolish that I'm hearing. Talking about how college is useless because they're using small examples, small but loud examples. But things that I consider outliers, saying that this is what your children are learning. They're learning these crazy things. Look at they're involved in these protests, not going to school, blah, 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 blah. And this is why college isn't worth it. College is worth it. Okay, if you have a degree that you need for whatever career you choose to go into, college it was like quite frankly, it's the only place you're going to get those degrees. They're now these larger, more expensive colleges, yeah, they may help you in the long run. They may push you towards a better job. Uh, as far as that goes, I don't know. Like I said, I was born in a crappy little town in Indiana and spent probably nearly the first decade of my life going or running from landlords and living in crappy trailer parks, and it just wasn't college wasn't something that was in the cards for me. But I do know people who went to college that are very successful, and their college degree got them there. I also know people who went to college who are not very successful, but it's really in the degree. When it comes to college, it's S or it's A, and this is the best way. And this is, like I said, this is just my observations. If your degree has an S at the end of it, BS, uh, uh, basically any kind of science degree, you have a very, very, very good chance of doing quite well in life. If your degree has an A after it, like a liberal arts degree, you have a very, very, very good chance of spending the rest of your life asking people if they want a hot apple pie with that. But that's something you have to look into yourself. You have to be smart about the degree. When I was young, when I was in the army, there were now I've taken college courses, things like such as this, but they've always been science based, and people would ask me different people would ask me, and this was back in the late 80s and through the 90s. Well, why are you going to these harder classes? Why are you doing that? Not only did I want to learn these things, but it made more sense to me. And I'd have people telling me all the time, well, you just got to get a college degree. They don't care what your degree's in. Look at this. I'm studying underwater basket weaving or 14th century French poetry or, whatever. But I'm going to have a degree, and you're going to have to struggle a lot harder to get it. And that never made sense to me. And it has borne out over the past few decades that, yeah, those general degrees, what was it that they, I can't remember what they called them back in those days, but those degrees that are just basically you taking enough college courses to amass enough credits to get some kind of a degree, and them contorting themselves into creating some kind of a title for that degree. That's not useful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And nowadays, they won't a lot of places won't even hire you if you have a BS degree like that.
Well, yeah. Not a B. You need a BS.
You know what?
But you don't need a BS degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a dot between the B and the S yeah. Like he's saying a BS, a bullshit degree like that. It's nice there. It's the first time I've ever seen you control yourself. Fucking Aggie. Like I said, keep it.
I've had to learn sometimes.
That shot collar work?
What?
That's a good one. Yeah. Anyway, but there are two alternatives out there, and this is where my union thing comes in. It's a trade school versus an apprenticeship. Now, there's the carpenters and joiners union, great union. The pipe fitters union, that's plumbers, but you call them plumbers, and they'll get the vapors. They're pipe fitters. Yeah, they're plumbers, but it's basically the plumbers union, which is the pipe fitters union. The Sparkies union, the IBEW, because Sparkies, the electricians union. The IUOE, the operators union. There's LEUNA, which is the laborers union, which is for people who have no experience in building trades or in construction trades. A great way to get in there is LEUNA. They take people, and they've got excellent training programs where now when you start, your pay is going to be based on your experience. And it's substantial. Even if you have no experience, your pay is quite substantial. But they offer you all kinds of classes for free. The same as the electrical workers, same as the carpenters and joiners, same as the pipe fitters, the same as the operators unions. They start you out at a lower pay, and they train you. They give you what you'd pay a trade school 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 to learn. They're going to pay you while they're training you for free. But their apprenticeship programs are sometimes a little difficult to go into or to get into because they are selective. They'll get thousands of applications, and they may have a couple of hundred spots, sometimes less than 100, sometimes more. The construction industry is growing so much that, generally speaking, they do have a lot of spots, but they got a lot of people applying for them. Best thing I can tell you, if you don't want to go through college, or if you can't afford college, or if it's just not your bag, it's just not something you want to do, you can make an extremely good living, well into the low six figures, with any one of these unions, with any one of these trades. You can do well. Now you got to be willing to travel. You got to be willing to learn, because it's a learning process. As you go, you are going to learn, but you are going to learn invaluable skills that will help you. And like I said, Leuna is a great one to start. That's the Leuna Laborers International Union of North America, I think is what it is. I work with the guys side by side all the time. Great guys. I'm in a different union, but I can't say enough good about them. I really can't. Just a great place to go. Did you just raise your hand to talk? Oh, you're stretching. Oh, anyhow. Producer Jeeves, he's giving me the business. Yeah, he does that. Okay. Like I said, look into them. Like I said, we're gonna get into the whole thing with the dirty politicians, dirty politics. Basically, the base of it, how it's used as a system of control. We're gonna get into all that next week. We're not going to worry too much about that. Next week, I would also like to probably do a little bit on gun safety, start in on that, because that's something that's, like I said, near and dear to me. If I'm personally of the opinion, if you're a Jew in this world, and America is one of the most Jewish friendly countries there is, and like I said, I'm an American Jew. I'm not a Jewish American. I am an American Jew. I'll explain the difference eventually. But to be unarmed and be a Jew, or actually to be unarmed and be a good law-abiding citizen in this country, is just unintelligent. So we will lean on gun safety quite a bit. If that upsets you, maybe this is not a channel you should be watching. And like I said, next week's interview with Gandhi, I'm pretty sure will be canceled. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see it, but we're going to look into the possibility of interviewing possibly some other dead celebrities and influenced people who have had influence over the years.
Maybe we can get Margaret Thatcher on here.
Oh, Maggie Thatcher, yeah, she does things for me. Just saying. Gal Gadot, actually, she's alive. I cut my left arm off for an interview with that woman. Oh God.
I think I'd cut my ears off if I had to do an interview with any woman from in Hollywood.
She's not from Hollywood. She's an Israeli. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Oh, she's from Israel.
Yeah. Tell me you wouldn't just drink a whole glass of her sweat.
Okay, that's a little nasty.
No, anyhow, that's my woman. Also wanted to explain the t-shirts. Last one I had on said red, white, and Jew. I just like t-shirts that make people smile or upset them. I also got another one that says I heart global warming, but this one I got because my brother calls me fat boy all the time. My kid brother, he does that. He's what do you call that? A horse's ass. But yeah, that's why I got this shirt. Because I am a glasses half full kind of guy. This That's glasses half full right there. And it's true, too. But in case you can see what it says, do you see what it says?
Yeah, it says. Yeah.
Fat people are harder to kidnap. Try carrying my big ass around. Anyway, we're going to let you go. Like I said, next week we're going to lean on. I will get into the political thing. I was, like I said, I was going to do it this week, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to do it next week, and we will lean into gun control. There will be 3 more movies. But if you can't watch 3 movies in a week, then that means you've got a life. Okay, so yeah, okay. Anyway, but we're going to let you go. This is the Hebrew Hillbilly and our illustrious producer Jeeves signing off. Shalom.